Alright, so this JTLC video, I'm doing something called a Fire 101. I'm gonna teach you the best materials and the easiest materials to find to get a fire going. So I'll show you different types of tinder you could use, just the best way to do it really. And yeah, what I like to do is there's three types of actual fuel that I like for first starting the fire. Those little twigs I showed you, but then you're also going to want smaller sticks and bigger sticks to put on once those smaller sticks lit and everything. Kind of get it going so you actually have actual fire. I'll show you what I mean. Now we're just doing a kind of little example here. Like when you're making a fire, it's common sense you don't want to make it in a big green fern area like that. And I should be common sense, but I just want to make sure people know. Or any bunch of dead hardwood leaves all around the ground. You want to get like a nice flat spot like this, clear it out. Just something like this is nice for fires. You don't want a bunch of twigs and on anything that could light that's on the ground. Alright, so here's the first type of tinder that you could find. It's the dead, really small sticks on the end of the tree. So here's a fallen tree, it's dead. And you see all the stuff up there, stuff like this is great for getting your birch bark to light. So you just want to grab it, snap it off. That's great tinder. Right, now we're looking for something that will actually catch the flame from either your lighter or some sparks from your ferro rod. But you're going to want to look for a either dead or alive hardwood tree, so that big birch right there will do. Alright, so I'm at the birch tree, and you'll see that the bark just kind of peels off like that. You're not always going to get really big strips. You could get smaller strips if you'd like. And there's another birch tree over here, but there's all different types, but any type of birch will work. And yeah, it's really good. I'll show you how good this is. You're kind of looking for twigs around that size. Just get a bunch from handful, 2 handfuls, something like that. Find them on the trees. You get the gist of it. One's this size. I'll show you how much I got once I get it all, but around this size is what you're gonna want also. Alright, I got about this much for the fire, just for the small sticks. That's all of it, all crunched up. And what I like to do is I like to get my materials first before I start the fire, so I'm not running around looking for everything. So I'll show you the next tinder you should get. Right, next you're gonna be looking for this size, a bit bigger. This is what you're gonna want to really get the fire going good. I'll get a bunch of those and then it'll be time to get the fire. I have larger tinder. I have way too much birch bark. This is 100 times what you actually need. I'm not even going to use all of that. And then I have the ketchent, or whatever you call it. Call it the ketchent. Anyways, I'm going to break that in half too. Get that nice like that. And now usually, you could, actually, I think I'm going to get a bit more of this because I didn't realize how little I had, but 1 second. Alright, I got some more. You don't need this much, but it's nice to be safe just because you don't want to, you don't want to start a fire and gather all that supplies and then waste it all because you can't get the fire going. So going a bit overkill is always a good thing when you're starting fires. Because you're in the woods, there's never gonna, well, there might be a situation when you have to use your supplies to the, reserve your supplies for fire making, but for me right now, there's dead trees everywhere, so it's not a big deal. I just found my lighter. I was gonna say, come all the way out here making a video about fire, forget my lighter. Anyways, even this is too much birch bark, but I don't care, because I'm making a video here. Now I'm using a lighter just because I don't feel like struggling with a ferro rod in -6. It's my own personal opinion, but I really don't feel like doing that today. Alright, you get your birch bark. Get that. Birch bark. Oops. Supposed to hold it up. Wait for this to catch. Hold the birch bark under your tinder. And it will catch eventually. Just like that. Alright. Don't be afraid to get up close and personal with the fire, I guess you could say. Add your smaller sticks on there. And when the fire is really blazing, roaring like this, I'd say it's just best to put a lot of your tinder on early, just so that you don't lose that big flame, even if it's wet. Now, I'd be careful doing this because you can suffocate the fire sometimes, but I think right now we're going to be a-okay. You don't want to blow too early. You want to blow when you see coals or something, because you don't just want to start blowing the flame out. But right now, should be good to blow on it. When you're blowing on the fire to get the flame bigger, a lot of people will say go really hard, like, but I find it's best to work your way up, so that'll actually get it a lot hotter, believe it or not. But there you go. There's already a fire that'll keep you warm. Like, I'm already on the verge of sweating here, so adjust it so the flames get through or something like that. Yeah, but there you go. So you just keep adding tinder onto that. I'm gonna add more here. Cut up some bigger, maybe ones like that, bigger logs to put on. But there you go. There's a fire.